Is it thinking? It's still there. We go. It's happening. We're up.
Okay, we're up and running. Did it say we're live? Are we live? Oh, hi. Hi, everybody. A little
I'm just
slow on
waiting
the
to
uptake
live up
today. Sorry.
Instagram.
A little slow this morning. Moving a little slow. Okay, you guys, you should go to our website, chicksontheright.com. Also, chicksontheright.com/links will get you to all of our socials, all of our things, including our pocket, everything. It's a huge pink page. It's pink, you guys. It's the cutest
I
little thing
matched
ever.
it today on purpose.
She did that on purpose for you. I'm actually kind of purpley and you're pink. So again, we matched today.
You're like what's the color of that fruit or that vegetable?
Eggplant.
Yes, eggplant. You're exactly that.
Eggplant today. Right. But anyways, you can go to chicksontheright.com/links and find all of our things. You should do that. You should bookmark that page and then you can find everything there. Also, shout out to Mendy Owens.
She's here.
She is here in our comments. Here. You can say hi to, hey, Mendy. Hey.
Hi, Mendy.
Mendy has a business on our American Business Spotlight. It's called Debits and Credits. She is a mad accountant. She's awesome. And she does taxes, you guys. And taxes are like, they're here. Like we're starting to have to do those. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't know who to give my taxes to. Mendy's the bomb. We have talked to her. She's amazing. She's one of our insiders. If you don't really trust somebody to look at all your financial stuff, you can trust Mendy. She's completely amazing. And so you can use code CHICKS to save $50 off your tax return, which everybody wants to do because we are sick and tired of giving money to the government. And Mendy can help you with that. So go to the sponsor tab on our website, chicksontheright.com, and then you can click on the American Business Spotlight banner. You can find her Debits and Credits. That's the name of her business. Do it, Mendy.
Do it. And if you're the kind of person who like really wants to understand your taxes, that's a thing that she will do. That's different than a lot of tax accountants. She'll actually go through line by line and say, this is what's going on. This is why we're doing this. This is how I'm saving you money. So, and she just sent a super sticker. Thank you, Mendy. Thank you,
Mendy.
She says, hi, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
So yes, definitely check that business out. Just love the American Business Spotlight. My name today, after Bill Belichick, who decided to also steal the thunder of Nick Saban and retire yesterday, or at least retire from the Patriots. I don't know if he's retiring like from the game, but he is retiring from the Patriots. I don't know.
I think because he said, I'll always be a Patriot.
Right. But what does that really mean?
I mean, I feel like that means that he's always going to be a Patriot and he's going to retire. I mean, these guys make buku amounts of money, don't they? So it's not like he couldn't retire.
I mean, he absolutely could financially, but like, will he?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know. You guys can. Somebody said he got fired. Did he really?
No, I think he announced. Well, maybe it was a mutual thing. I don't know.
Maybe it's a forced retirement. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know, but he's gone. And to me, that just makes the two angriest, meanest looking coaches in both, professional and college football. Bye.
You think Saban's really mean looking? You think Saban's mean looking?
Have you seen him smile?
I mean, it's not that he doesn't smile, but like his face in general, I don't think is a super mean face. I've seen a lot meaner faces.
I mean, he doesn't have a mazy face where it's just blank.
Right.
To me, he looks mean all the time.
Yeah. I think you're a little biased.
That might be true.
A little bit.
That's probably true. Anyway, he's no longer with the New England Patriots. That is the main point.
Yeah.
And also couple just like highline items before we get into videos and some of the big news. Hunter Biden has pled not guilty to all 9 of his tax charges that were filed against him. So he's not guilty, he says.
Okay. All right, Hunter, whatever.
And then, oh my God, you guys. So the Iowa primary, that's happening on Monday, right? And the predictions for the weather are horrific. Like the predictions for the weather all over the country are horrific. Everyone's going through the most horrible deep freeze.
Even here in Texas, oh my God, storms last night. I didn't sleep at all. Like like everything sucks everywhere weather-wise.
Yeah.
It's weird.
On Tuesday, the high is going to be 5, and I think the low is like -, 9 or so. It's something awful. And this cold snap is going to happen. It's going to be in place for a good long while. And in Iowa, they're talking about like way negative temperatures. And then the wind chills on top of that are going to be horrific. And they're talking about it affecting, obviously, turnout when it comes to the caucusing. And Laura Loomer is suggesting that Nikki Haley, with her military connections, is purposefully impacting the weather. I mean, oh my God, I have to read you the tweet because it was
God, that shit.
Unbelievable.
I
was like, oh my God. I just, okay. So here's what she said. She said, is the deep state activating HAARP, HAARP, to disrupt the Iowa caucus? We all know Nikki Haley has a lot of friends in the defense industry and the military industrial complex. She's losing in Iowa, and now Iowa is set to get hit with a once-in-a-decade blizzard as Donald Trump is set to dominate the Iowa caucus. Looks like weather manipulation to me. Take a look at this weather radar below and how the incoming snowstorm accelerates out of nowhere.
Oh my God.
Iowa doesn't get hit with snowstorms in January all the time.
All the time. I swear.
Oh my
It's like
God.
Indiana does. I gave birth to my
What in the
daughter during a
world?
freaking blizzard like 14 years ago. I can't. Okay, somebody needs to check on her. Somebody needs to check on her and make sure she's okay. Because she's not okay.
I mean, seriously, if you are a person who follows her unironically,
Stop it. Just stop it right now.
I mean, she's a lunatic. You guys, she's an absolute lunatic. Oh my God.
And Iowans, listen, I believe that they're going to show because they're Iowans.
I think so too.
They're used to, if you are from Iowa or from Indiana, or I mean, like if you're from a place like Iowa, you've grown up there and you're used to this, you're like, whatever, it's a blizzard. Like, we're just going to go. Like, we're going to make, of course, they're going to show up. These are hardy people that are used
and this
to
is
this
what
stuff.
happens in the winter. And also, how does she know that a snowstorm is going to specifically impact Trump voters? Like, why would it pick Trump voters to hurt more than DeSantis voters or Haley supporters? Or that doesn't even make any sense. Like, there's no way of predicting how the weather is going to impact turnout per candidate. Like, that just makes no sense.
Oh my God.
I cannot with these people.
She needs some serious help. Somebody needs to go.
She really does.
Mm-hmm.
Lace Krupa Loridzen. I hope I'm saying that name right. Thank you so much. Lace says both Trump and DeSantis will be in my small town tomorrow. We are in a blizzard right now. Well, I hope that you still turn out, Lace. If you're an Iowa voter, I hope that you, no matter who you're voting for, I hope that does not turn you, or I hope that does not limit your ability to caucus and do your civic duty. So you do that. Anyway, all right. Before we get to videos, can I just take a moment of personal privilege, if I may?
Absolutely.
Yesterday was my boy's 27th birthday. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with my older son, we are going to do a deep dive about him next week. So the deep dive for this Saturday that comes out has already been recorded, and it's great. It's going to be, it's all about Lululemon and like all the controversy that's surrounding Lululemon right now. So make sure to listen to that for sure on Saturday when it drops. But next Saturday, we're going to tell the Thomas story. I think what I might do is I'll probably post in our locals group and our insiders group and ask people what their questions are. Cause I don't really know how to
tell the story.
I don't know how to tell this. Maybe you should just interview me about it.
I may have to do that. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Kind of like what you did with my dad's story. You know, when my dad died and we did that whole story about my dad and my ridiculous dysfunctional family. Like, you basically interviewed me because it is kind of weird to talk about yourself. So I'll do that. Maybe I'll just interview you. You know what I mean?
And I'll ask people what questions, because I genuinely don't know what people are curious about. Because I've lived his whole life, right? So I don't know what the questions are. But in any case, I posted the most precious video of him at his house as his caregiver Trey was about to bring him home for Christmas. And so he was smiling, and it was just the most precious thing ever. And my Instagram feed was flooded with lovely comments and well wishes for his birthday, except for a couple of people, one in particular, who is also a special needs mom. And I guess a special needs mom of a boy with similar issues, although I looked at her page and saw that he's much more functional than my Thomas. And she asked me a question which I thought was super intrusive. Like the way that she asked it was super intrusive, because she said, why doesn't he live with you anymore? I have a 28-year-old son with CP and he lives with us. And so I thought, okay, well, maybe I'm just reading that wrong. You know what I mean? Like maybe I'm reading into that a tone that's not really there. And so I'll just answer it. And so I answered, and I told her it's because after, I think, when did we move him out? He was like 22, 23 years old, I think. Something like that. And our bodies are continue to be broken as a result of just our inability to provide him with the care that he needed round the clock. And so it was a difficult decision, but it was the right decision for our family. And I don't feel bad about it at all, because it made perfect sense and we found a great place for him to be. So that's, I answered her and I explained, and she wrote back the most judgmental, holier than thou bunch of crap that I could not believe. I could not believe what I was reading, and I lost my temper big time, and I responded, and then she blocked me, and then this morning she was back at it, not apologetic at all. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing it up now, because we'll talk more about that in the deep dive, is that so many people on Insiders, I guess, saw that happening and rushed to support and offer really, really kind words of support. And I just wanted to tell you guys that I appreciate it. That was that was really, really nice.
Because our insiders and our locals people, they have your back. Everybody has everybody's backs, and that's what those communities are all about. So yeah, I mean, they're amazing people. Don't just walk, run if you are thinking about joining those groups, because they're amazing. Seriously.
Because if you need support of any kind, they have your back in every single way. And I can't believe that this fight continues. I can't even believe I continue to respond to her. I don't know why I'm wasting my time, but I can't help myself, because I just can't believe that. I think as a mom of a special needs son herself, she of all people should know how inappropriate her comments were. Right. And the fact that she doesn't, it just makes me insane. Like I want to explain it to her in a way that maybe makes her think twice before leveling those same kinds of attacks on someone else who would be devastated by it. I just don't want anybody else to have to go through that, I guess. And I just cannot believe that she thinks that way, that she thinks it's okay to make those judgments. It was wow. Anyway, so we'll get into more of the Thomas story and all of that stuff next week. And now it is time for news. But it is also time, too, before I forget, to remind everybody about Healthy Cell, our friends at Healthy Cell. I wanted to show everybody, because I don't think I have shown what a 7-day trial pack of Healthy Cell's products looks like. This is what you get if you want to just try a week's worth of their products. This specifically is their joint health and mobility packet. And if you don't know about Genucell, this is what it looks like. This is their vitamin pack, their vitamin supplement pack. And it is like, it's a gooey substance that tastes delicious. The joint health and mobility one specifically is orange flavored. And it has the equivalent in this one pack of 11 different pills worth of supporting nutrients. So we're talking glucosamine, chondroitin, hyaluronic acid, collagen precursors, curcumin, omega-3s. It's got all the things that your joints need to stay healthy. And so if you're of an age like we are, when your joints start saying, excuse me, but ow, what are you doing? Why are you exercising? That hurts. This is the product for you. And you can get 20% off your first order when you visit healthycell.com/chicks.
And this stuff works, you guys. It works because it actually absorbs. Because I mean, I am a testament to that. Like with the other ones, you don't use that one specifically, but I use like two of the other ones. Mm-hmm. Amazing stuff. Amazing.
Oh my God. The hair, skin, and nails, you guys.
It's working. Oh my God. It's working.
She has tried literally everything.
I've tried everything. Yeah. Like expensive stuff. I mean, I've literally like set money on fire, and this stuff works. So yeah, try it.
It's awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda Van Rees. She says, I'm in Iowa. We are getting at least 6 inches of snow and then cold the next few days. We aren't bitches.
Exactly. I wasn't going to say it. I'm glad that you said it, but you guys aren't. Tough people out there in Iowa.
They know this weather. This is
They
not
totally
new.
do. Like,
Oh my gosh,
seriously,
it'll be
Laura
fine.
Loomer. Yeah.
And Laura Kate Baker, thank you so much. Laura says, Mock, I have CP, but I am very high functioning. I'm very blessed. Happy birthday, Thomas. Mock, you're an amazing mom and chick. Much love. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very much appreciate that. And Brian Brumley, thank you. Brian says, saw you channeling Paul Harvey there. Were we channeling Paul Harvey?
Were we?
I don't know how I was I?
I don't know.
I don't know how I was. I wasn't meaning to, but listen, I'll never get mad about being compared to Paul Harvey. That's fine. Okay, let's get into some things. So Jill Biden, Dr. Jill Biden, as she likes to be called, she did an interview with Mika because of course, right? Like who else is she going to do an interview with? It was either going to be Rachel Maddow or Mika Brzezinski. So she did an interview with Mika, and Mika asked her all the important questions about Joe Biden's age. And so that's where this first clip starts.
Husband is 81. At the end of the second term, he'd be 86. As his life partner of 46 years, is there a part of you that is worried about his age and health? Can he do it?
He can do it. And I see Joe every day. I see him out, traveling around this country. I see his vigor. I see his energy. I see his passion.
It's elder abuse, man. It's seriously, that's what this is. She's totally taking advantage because she loves being in that position. She loves being in that house. She likes all the perks. She likes all the money that we give her. It's total elder abuse. This woman has problems. Shame on her for doing what she's doing. After everything that we've seen, every clip, we could give her a montage of all the times that guy has fallen, stuttered, not known where he is. I mean, crapped his pants. Seriously. This woman is, I have zero respect for her.
I know.
Zero.
And her doctorate is what? In education? You would think that she would know what the word vigor actually means.
Right.
I don't think she does.
Do you mean rigor or vigor? What is it? What is it?
I mean, I get that she sees him every day, but unfortunately, we see him a lot of days. And
we see her propping him up.
Right. Right.
We see her holding his hand and telling him what to do. And I mean, she is his caretaker, essentially. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's just unbelievable the amount of elder abuse, period.
It totally is. It totally is. Now, to Mika's credit, she pushed back on this answer and said, well, what about all the voters out there who are saying 81 is too freaking old?
So to those who say I can't vote for Joe Biden, he's too old, what do you say?
I say his age is an asset.
He's wise.
Yes, he's wise. He has wisdom. He has experience. He knows every leader on the world stage. He's lived history. He knows history. Mm-hmm. He's thoughtful in his decisions. He is the right man or the right person for the job.
Should have back up on that. Should have back up on that one because it's like, oh, I mean, the right person for that one. He's totally not. Mm-mm.
No, he could not be less of the right person. But this was mostly a fluff interview, and Mika, you can hear it in her. I mean, you could hear her fill in the words for her when she was like, "He's not too old." And Mika was like, "He's wise. He's wise. I'll help you. I've got it."
Because I've said in past interviews that when you're old, it can mean that you're wise and that you've been around the world and you're worldly and you're old. It's like you're experienced and you're wise. And so, yeah, she's filling in the blanks for her, but it's not working because we all know and we've seen it.
We all know and we have seen it. That's exactly right. And so next, Mika asks, how are you coping? Like, how are you dealing with the fact that everybody is so mean to your husband? And here is that exchange.
I think what people don't see is how hard Joe works every single day, that he gets up thinking what he can do for the American people.
How have you been coping personally with the onslaught of accusations against your husband and your family, including and especially Hunter? It's the focus of a House Oversight Committee hearing, holding him in contempt, obsessing over him, showing pictures of him during vulnerable moments in his battle with addiction on the floor of the House. This would crush any family.
Mika, I think what they are doing to Hunter is cruel. And I'm really proud of how Hunter has rebuilt his life after addiction. You know, I love my son, and it's hurt my grandchildren. And that's what I'm so concerned about, that it's affecting their lives as well.
Did it hurt the grandchild that they didn't acknowledge for several years? The one that he had with the stripper? Is that that one, or just all the other ones that they acknowledged for a while before we had to force them to acknowledge that the seventh one that they didn't acknowledge, that grandchild?
They stopped having stockings because of that grandchild. Like, so they they're apparently in the child's life in whatever way that means to them, but they stopped doing their individual stockings this holiday season because they didn't want to be asked about that.
I mean, yeah, well, of course,
at least that's my assumption.
Why would you want to be asked about that grandchild that you didn't want to acknowledge for years?
Right.
What a phony.
I know. So Jesse Waters had a great bit last night about the difference between the two presidents' sons. So how Trump's sons were treated versus Biden's sons. And here that is.
The difference between these two is so easy. One president told his son to cooperate with investigations. One president told his son to obstruct the investigation. One president had his son donate all of the foreign money to the Treasury. One president had his son spend the foreign money on hookers and cocaine. There is more evidence that Biden is in business with his son than there ever was that Trump colluded with the Russians. This guy is such a stone cold liar. It's going to just take one crack in this entire cover up for this entire thing to fall apart. There is no one being cruel to Hunter. If anybody, Jill's being cruel to Joe for making this guy run for president again.
Exactly.
Joe has been cruel to his son for making his addict go around the world instead of go to rehab. And Hunter's being cruel to his family and his children for raiding their college funds for cocaine. This story is upside down, backwards, whatever you want to call it. I can't wait for Trump's president so I can play the gotcha game.
And this trial.
I wonder what Tarlov said about that.
I don't even know if I don't even think it was her last night. I think it might have been Harold.
Because he's a little bit more level-headed and he can actually see when people are right.
There was just a snout that just sort of appeared and then disappeared.
All of my dogs are like running loose this morning, so I apologize if y'all just see like a random snoot come in here. I apologize.
It was just like a little snoot that came.
It's across. Like Snootapalooza up in here today. Sorry.
Karen Cirincione, I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you so much. She says, "We love you, Mock. You're a great mama. And those mean people on Instagram brought out all the mama bears in us to protect you and Thomas XO. Oh my God. You guys were amazing and still are. I mean, like I told Daisy that this horrible biatch was back this morning and she was like, I can't even find it. There are so many comments. I can't even find it.
Yeah. Because I said there were like 228 comments. I said, so you got to remember at the end of the day that the good outweighs the bad. Sure. And she was the anomaly of just the bad in the world. Yeah. So, I mean, that should warm your heart that everybody's so wonderful in our community. And it does.
Mm-hmm. So great. And by the way, for those people who see the other guy who made a comment saying, does he even want to be alive? Which I was like, what is wrong with people? Like, how do you say something like that to the mother of that person? And so I also said that is a vile question. And that guy ended up apologizing to me, but on direct message.
Which is nice. But still, how do you say that? What is that?
Yikes. I mean, yikes. Okay, let's get to election. Well, actually, before we get to election stuff, let's get to just the utter incompetence of every single member of this administration. Because you probably heard we're now shooting missiles into Yemen at the Houthis. Like the world is literally on fire. There's so many hot spots. I don't even know how we're spread so thin. You know what I mean? As a superpower. So everything is going crazy and everyone in the administration is useless. Biden himself has been basically absent the last couple of days, which is a question that Peter Doocy had for KJP.
3-day swing, but for the last 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, none of his constituents have seen him doing anything. Who decided that the American people are best served by seeing less of the president?
I would disagree. I wouldn't say they saw less of the president. He was out there, again, a couple of states in 3 days. I think that's important to note as well, and give the American people the full information here.
So he's been gone for 3 days. We've got all this military stuff going on. He has no idea where his defense secretary. Nobody knows anything. It's like the Keystone Cops, right? Like it's like there's so much ineptness in this administration. Our military, we've talked about on several occasions, they're not what they used to be.
Right.
Like it's so DEI'd out. And I don't feel safe. I don't know about you guys, but I don't.
No, I don't think anybody does. And especially because they are being spread so thin. You know what I mean? It's so bad. So he's absent. And then Kamala, who, of course, as you recall, is supposed to be the border czar and I don't think she's ever been to the actual border. She decided what would be the most useful place for her to visit is a middle school. That's already bad enough on its face. It's the way that she talked to 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, ostensibly, like they are absolute toddlers, that I was amazed at. Here she is just greeting them, like just about to greet them for the first time.
Hi, Jaguar. I am so happy to see all these young leaders.
Oh my God.
I just got off the plane. It's called Air Force Two from Washington, D.C. to come and visit with you all. Because I've been hearing about you. You all are so smart.
Oh my God.
I was just on a plane. Have you guys
called
ever
Air Force Two?
Do you know what a plane is? It's like, oh my God, she has no idea. She has kids. I mean, they're her stepkids, right? But she has helped to raise children. Does she know like what the different age groups are? Like
maybe her stepkids are just that dumb.
Oh my!
That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know why she would talk to people that age in that way.
And I think every time she's had interaction with children, they've given her a script, which is terrifying. And so my God, this is it's crazy. My daughter, if she were there, she'd be like, "Who is this stupid broad? What's going on?" I think wow. Yeah, lady, that's nice. You were on your little plane. It was just wow. Okay.
So I mean, again, it's just I'm just giving you some examples in this next group of videos of the level of incompetence that we're dealing with in this administration. Next up, we've got a woman by the name of Lael. I think I'm saying her name right. Lael Brainerd, who is Biden's chief economic advisor, giving an update on inflation, which, by the way, has just gone up.
So if you run down inflation since President Biden came into office, overall CPI inflation is up 17.6%. Food, you're talking about, is up about 34%. Electricity is up 27%. So what's your message to Americans who are feeling this every day when they buy and use things?
Yeah, so the president's message is very much he's fighting for American consumers. He is fighting to lower costs.
He's fighting. He's fighting. It's like, really?
What?
With what is pudding? We don't even see him. He's not fighting.
He's fighting.
That's
like,
their
hey,
message,
inflation.
though. Like his message, this is their messaging, is that the narrative is that he's fighting and that your life is great and that economically everything's wonderful. I saw a thread yesterday. It was about gas prices. And it was a guy actually that we used to work with in Indianapolis. And he's a liberal, flaming lib. And he was talking about how we just can't see it. Like the the stickers, it's like Biden did that when people put those stickers on gas pumps. It's like they liberals are so mad that we can't give Biden credit for the gas prices coming down. And I'm like, but they're still high. They're still high across the country. So what are we supposed to do? Like just pay homage to this guy that is like, they still suck. Grocery prices still suck. Energy prices suck. Everything, like prices and inflation across the board it's all bad. It's all really bad. But it's like they've been fed this narrative of, no, your life is great. And a lot of these people really believe it, even though the reality that they want to, it's like they want so bad to believe something other than what they're actually living.
Yeah.
And
they're gaslighting themselves.
Yes, it's
by saying that
baffling to
kind of
me.
stuff.
It blows me away how they just, it's like they have so much idolatry in
Yeah.
the Democrat Party and in this guy in Biden, who is just a complete loser. Doesn't even know where he is, that they will do anything and say anything to make it so.
Yeah.
It's not reality.
It's not reality. And you're right. Like the prices, I know even my husband was just saying, when we were traveling recently, or I don't even remember where we were, but he was talking about how he catches himself feeling relief at how lower the gas prices are from where they were, even though they are still way higher than when they were under Trump. And so he's like, he has to remind himself, this isn't good.
Yeah.
This is just less awful than it was before, but it's still awful. So
it's like, it's like you're punching me in the face, but just not as hard.
Right.
Okay.
And it gets worse because you know how we've been providing millions and billions and not trillions, but getting close, I think, to $1 trillion in military aid and equipment aid and pension aid to Ukraine. They are having some trouble finding all the stuff that we've sent. So we've sent like a bunch of equipment. It's unaccounted for. You'll see a screenshot first about that. So we're talking more than $1 billion worth of weapons and equipment that we have given Ukraine, cannot be accounted for, is not being tracked. And so John Kirby was asked to explain this, and let me know if you feel reassured by his answer, because I do not.
There's a new report out from the Defense IG that says that American defense officials didn't fully count for nearly 40,000 weapons that the U.S. provided to Ukraine, sensitive material, small enough to be bartered, put on the black market. Does the White House have any reaction, any concern about that report?
Certainly, I'd refer you to the Defense Department for a more detailed reaction, but just let me broadly say we have for many, many months now been interested in improving accountability over the end use of material that is provided to Ukraine. We have had that conversation with our Ukrainian partners, and they share our concerns about accountability. Now,
I can't. Like, I put an air tag on it.
Oh my God.
Like, how hard is this? If it's so difficult for you, listen, I lose my phone all the time. I'm 52 years old. I'm like, where's my phone? A lot of times it's like in my pocket. Okay. It's what happens. But I'm constantly like, where's my phone? Where are my keys? I mean, people do this, right? And so my husband for Christmas, he got me those little tiles. You know what I'm talking about? And he's like, you're not going to lose your keys anymore. Like you can, and so now why can't we do that with this stuff? With $1 billion equipment? Is it that? Just stick a tile on it. Like, what the heck? I don't understand.
And the fact that his answer is, yeah, we've really been meaning to improve our tracking of that or improve the accountability. What the hell? Yeah. I just, wow. Okay. And so now, as we mentioned, now things are ramping up in the Middle East, and now we're actually fighting back against all of these missile attacks that have been happening on our ships out there. And so there are missile attacks on the Houthis in Yemen. And Molly Hemingway was on with Laura Ingraham to talk about that. The only thing about this clip that makes me crazy is how much Laura Ingraham interrupts her. But other than that, this is important stuff to know about what's going on.
We've seen more of Hunter than Joe Biden.
Molly.
Disgrace.
Well, it was interesting last night. One of the questions that was asked at the town hall was about some concern that people might have that chaos would return if Trump were elected. And Trump's answer was pointing out some of the chaos that we're seeing in the country right now, not just domestically, but internationally. And this is a really serious situation. I mean, it's a serious situation that the Houthis have been bombing shipping routes and that affects so many things. Something needs to be done about this. But we've also been in conflict, either in a proxy way or otherwise, with these people for quite some time now. This is the third administration. And you want to have good communication with the American people. You also want to do things in a constitutional manner. And again, Biden is not the first president to violate what the Constitution says about how Congress should be involved when launching airstrikes. But this is a good example of why Congress should be involved, because we do need to think about, to the point that...
What's next?
Yeah. Well, and also how we're going to deal with this. Being involved in a global conflict in multiple parts...
When we're broke.
Yes. And it matters to people, and how we do it matters. And it doesn't seem like a lot of our defense industry or that our defense leadership have been thinking about how to effectively win wars. They're very good about entering into them.
Well, we haven't won a war since World War II.
Right. They're very good about having them go for a long
7,
time.
8 years? What is that?
But we need to know more about what their strategy is before we let them do yet another one.
Yeah. So we're reactive, not proactive, which is not good from a military perspective at all. So that's where we are right now. So like the Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, they're all funded by Iran, right? And so it essentially funded them because of
we have disagree with you on that. They don't agree that the money is fungible. So Kirby's like, no, we didn't. Just because we released $6 billion doesn't mean that Iran actually gets it.
But what about that pallet of cash that Obama gave Iran like years ago? What about that? Remember that? You guys remember that? I mean, it's maybe it didn't start with that, but that certainly didn't help. And so when I see stuff like this, I'm like, we helped this. You know, I mean, it makes me sick to my stomach. How are we not helping this? When we give money to these jackholes. Stop with that.
I know. Well, and Representative Mike Waltz is saying, that's great that we're responding to these attacks that have been happening over the last several weeks. But is it enough? Is it the right target?
Had hundreds of attacks on American soldiers in Iraq and Syria. And, what was Biden's response to hit 2 empty warehouses? So, as of tonight, I'm going to be skeptical in terms of what they did being militarily effective. But I guess maybe I should be happy it's something, but they're not getting to the heart of the issue, are they?
No, they're not, Sean. And until tonight, our Navy ship captains did not have the authority to shoot at the missiles being launched at them, to shoot at the actual Houthis, shooting at them from shore, even when they detected them. So, look, better late than never. I'm thrilled to see actually some of the ships, one of them, the USS Florida, taking this action. The White House is finally letting them do so. But let's rewind the clock for a second. Our Gulf allies under the Trump administration and now told us the Houthis were terrorists. President Trump designated them terrorists. And in his first month in office, what did Biden do? Right after he was done stupidly lifting, right after he was done canceling the Keystone Pipeline, he lifted the terrorist designation on the Houthis. And look at his statement tonight. Iran is not mentioned anywhere. So, look, I'm glad to see this action. Better late than never. But as long as Iran, as Morgan said, is flush with cash to rearm and refit the terrorists, this is only going to continue.
This hardly gives me any confidence that any of these terror groups that are fully supported by the number one state sponsor of terror, Iran, are going to be intimidated or stop what they've been doing. I have no confidence of that. Thank you both. Now,
that whole like terrorist designation being lifted off of the Houthis because they wanted to make sure they had like humanitarian aid get to Yemen or whatever. That's what the excuse was for that. Mm-hmm. But yet right wingers will be called terrorists. Right. That's what this administration does. That's what Biden does. So we can't call the Houthis terrorists, you guys. But that mom at a school board meeting who's a right winger, she's like totally a terrorist, you guys. This is who they have shown who they are. I mean, look at it right there. It's in front of us. That's who they are.
Yeah. I saw a comment that I want to address because I think it's being snippy. Michael, I don't even know what your last name is, but Michael said, I guess we have to give you $5 for you to pay attention to our comment. I just want to explain. I'm not being mean. I mean, I think that's a shitty comment, but I'm not going to be mean to you. I just want to explain to you what we see so that if people have that same concern, they understand what's happening. When someone sends a super sticker, it is a bright, giant pop-up that appears and then gets filed away in a place where we can see it. all the other comments that, by the way, are coming through multiple platforms at a time. So I don't know where you're watching us from, Michael, but you're only seeing the comments on one platform. We're seeing comments pass by at lightning warp speed from 8 different platforms. So it's not that we're ignoring people. It's that the comments go by so quickly that we cannot physically, as human beings, see them all.
Plus,
so when people do send a super sticker, yes, we see it because it goes to a separate place that I will check in a minute and recognize those people because they deserve recognition.
Yeah. Plus we're doing a show.
And we're also trying to do a show and watch and pay attention to the videos that we're showing you. My God. People are just unreal. Anyway, so, but maybe other people have questions about how that works. And so I'm happy to explain it.
Just so you know, with Mock, today is not the day. Not today. Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I will be nice, but for crying out loud. C. Douglas, thank you. C. Douglas is fighting not to poop his pants in public. Yes, that's exactly what Joe Biden is fighting for us. Glenda Rowe, thank you. She says dogs are so much better than people. Amen.
Yeah, we don't deserve them. We just don't.
Sue Ritchie, thank you so much for that generous super sticker. Appreciate it. Shelly says, I think feeling relief that it's not as awful as it was. I think this is about gas prices.
Yes,
is like the rationale of choosing the lesser of two evils. It's still evil. You just learn to tolerate it.
Yeah, and
that's
it's like
exactly right.
We are the frogs in the boiling water.
Yep.
You become that frog where you just desensitize yourself to the suck. And then when it sucks a little less, you're like, wait, is it a little less hot in here? Am I boiling a little less? Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Robin Zecca, thank you. Robin says Biden said he started the civil rights movement when he was visiting an AME church. The lies that he continues to tell over and over and over and over again.
And get away with.
It's incredible. And Robin, thank you again. She says, how do we defend our country when no one knows where the Secretary of Defense is? That's a great point. And I've got some sound to play for you about that coming up right now. Sue Ritchie, thank you so much. And Sheila Marie, thank you very, very much to all of you for those super stickers. So speaking of Lloyd Austin, that other really tall Frankenstein dude that's always in like his dress uniform, his military uniform, part of the State Department, I think, he is now giving an update about Lloyd Austin's condition. And so first you're going to hear about that. He is still hospitalized. And then you're going to hear an exchange between John Kirby and a reporter about how the main members of the Biden administration's cabinet, the people like Austin who are responsible for our entire country's safety, how they know where they are at any given time. Your mind is about to be blown.
Secretary Austin remains hospitalized at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center and is in good condition, according to his doctors. He continues to recover well and is focused on executing his duties as the Secretary of Defense. I don't have an update to provide at this time on when he'll be released from the hospital, but we'll, of course, keep you informed.
They'll, of course.
Yeah, of course. They're going to keep everybody. No, they're not. They're not going to keep anybody informed. They don't even know themselves. They have no idea what's going on. Nobody knows.
Right. So that's why this exchange with Kirby and a reporter, I don't know who the reporter is pretty extraordinary. And I love the pushback that happens. And then we can have a discussion about tracking people because they don't apparently do that with their top brass.
Thank you, Admiral. On Monday, you told one of my colleagues that the Situation Room's ability to track where cabinet members are is, in your words, generic, limited to the city they're in.
Oh my God.
That seems to be in line with Cold War era capabilities where principals in the line of succession had to call in their location to the central locator system that FEMA runs. Are you saying that in 2024, when I have a phone in my pocket that can be pinged to locate me within a couple of feet, or I could get the same kind of capability for my dog if I want, that we don't have a way of knowing where each person in the line of succession is without them having to tell the Situation Room or FEMA or whoever is in charge of tracking their locations?
I do not have a different answer to you today than I did to your colleague on Monday. There is a process by which cabinet officials and their location is tracked by the Situation Room. There is a check-in every morning.
Oh my God.
Where their general location is known and logged and reported.
Their general location. Each of these principals is issued, I assume, is issued a mobile phone. I'm sure you have one. I know Karina has one.
Let me stop you right there. We're not going to track the GPS coordinates on somebody's mobile phone.
Oh my God.
In the administration, and we're not going to plant a microchip in their neck like they're a poodle. They check in every day, and we know where they are. And that's I leave it at that.
But the problem is with Secretary Austin, you didn't know where he was. You didn't know where he was for days, and you're telling me that these daily check-ins are the best that can be done at
I cannot.
We had no indication that he was outside the D.C. area. Now, it's true, we didn't know he was hospitalized, and I've said repeatedly that that's a problem. That should not happen.
It's like, why would we track our own people? We just track you guys. Right. Why would we track our own people? Okay. I mean, my kids, we talked about this at depth, you guys, before we in our pre-show. Yeah. My older kids like stalk us. So if we dare to drive out of our little town, our oldest daughter will call and be like, "Where are you guys going? Why are you in Fort Worth?" And we're like, "Geez, Alyssa, like we're just here for the day." We're like, "Oh my God, like why is Gwen, our youngest daughter, why is Gwen in another city? Has she been abducted? What's going on?" Like no, she's at a swim meet with us. Like, I mean, our older kids are so maniacal about stalking, and they know exactly where we are at all times. Our whole family has, we all do the Find My Phone thing.
Yeah, Life 360 is amazing, and we are huge users of it.
Why aren't they doing that? Why is it like so foreign to Kirby to do this? Why is our government and the big top brass, why are they not doing this? It's ridiculous.
It's amazing.
He's like, "What's an iPhone? I don't know what an iPhone is." We're all tracking each other. This is what families do. This is what I'm surprised that the people at Radio America aren't tracking us. Like, we're not doing it for fun, Honestly,
that would be so boring because they would see me in my house like almost all the time.
Me too. That's why my kids freak out all the time when we go someplace else. They're like, "What are you doing? Why are you in a different city? What's wrong?" Yeah, this is the thing. They need to do this. They need to just track them.
This is like
this
a no-brainer for crying out loud.
God, they're so inept.
I am very much looking forward to this coming year's chit chats that we have with our friend Zach Abraham at Bulwark Capital Management. And what was the question that we had for him? Yeah. Oh, I know. When we first talked to him, and we don't have our scheduled chats with him scheduled just yet, but during our first one, we've got to ask him if it's true that Trump's lead in the polls is why the stock market is doing well.
Yes.
That's the question that we were going to have for him.
And if presidents
next time we talk. Yeah.
if presidents have that effect on the market, right?
Yeah. So that'll be a really good question for him. But if you're somebody who just wants to talk to someone about your financial situation and your investments, and if you're maybe you have a financial advisor, but you're sick and tired of that person not reacting to all of the things that are happening, the different levers that are being pulled in the market and how that's affecting your specific portfolio, Zach is a great person to have a consultation with. And you can do that. You can check him out at knowyourriskradio.com. You can get his free common sense investing guide, or you can call 866-779-RISK to get more information about Zach and Bulwark Capital Management. He's phenomenal and he knows his stuff, and he can definitely absolutely help you. So knowyourriskradio.com. Make sure to check him out right there. Jill Smith, thank you. Jill Smith said, "Dang, y'all, get off Mock's back. Love you chicks." They're about to get on my backs even more because we're going to talk election next. And so I'm prepared for more onslaught, believe me. Paula Johnson, thank you. Paula says, "Well, now that we know about Austin, they will keep us informed." Yeah, now that we know. I mean, it's ridiculous. Bruce Wayne, thank you. Bruce says, "As soon as I know what's going on, I'll let you know. Hashtag Joe Biden." Autumn, thank you. Autumn says, "It's amazing you're able to address all super chats. That's unique to other similar podcasts. I've hesitated from sending super chats at times because I don't want to overwhelm you. You're doing great." Thank you. Thank you very much for that.
Sweet.
Very sweet. Lori Mazamuro, thank you. Lori says they don't want evidence in case their people are doing something wrong. Yeah. And then Donna Forrest, thank you very much for that super sticker. Very much appreciate all of you. Okay, so we're going to play a quick clip from Rand Paul, who made an announcement yesterday about an announcement he's going to make today. So here's his very short little clip that he posted on Twitter yesterday.
Hey, everybody. As you know, I've been pretty quiet about the presidential race, which is kind of unusual for me. But tune in tomorrow morning, and I've got something very important to say on the presidential race.
Yeah, so
that was that.
Who he's going to endorse, and I don't know. Because
I just looked.
Did he say?
I just looked.
Who is it?
Well, I don't know.
Oh my God!
I know, but here's what the announcement is. He just posted like a giant several threaded tweet thread that he has started a new website that's called NeverNikki.net. And so there's a lot of tweets about everything that's wrong with Nikki. And then all it says is, I've been watching the GOP primary closely for a while now, and I like various aspects of several candidates, Republicans like Trump, DeSantis, and Vivek. And I'm interested in the ideas of some independents too, such as Robert Kennedy Jr. But the main announcement is that there's a new website called NeverNikki.net.
Okay, so she is probably he believes she is connected with like more deep state ideology. Deep state ideology, and also, Democrats love her. So
yeah,
yikes, because he's so libertarian. That's why I was very curious as to see, who he was going to align himself with. But obviously, he's not aligning himself with anybody. He's just saying, "Don't pick Nikki."
Right. So, like anybody but Nikki, I guess, is his choice right now.
NeverNikki,
which is interesting.
Interesting. So she's more of the deep state person. That's so interesting.
Yeah. So he is not making a pick. There was so much speculation. Like, so many people were like, inside sources are saying he is totally endorsing Trump. And then other people were like, no, he's going to endorse RFK Jr. I mean, I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah, but
no idea.
Now I can't wait to see what Nikki says in response, because, man,
she's going to be mad.
Can't
She's
wait.
Gonna be like, RandPaulLies.com.
Right.
I've started a new website.
I started a new website. Yeah. My God.
Ben Shapiro has made his endorsement, and I have that little clip right here.
Let's just be clear about this. If the primaries were held today, I would vote for Ron DeSantis. I would vote for him. He's the best Florida governor. He is the best governor in America. He is the most consistently conservative person in the race. He is an incredibly competent executive. He knows how to actually run the levers of power and make sure things happen, not just blow V8. I would vote for him in a primary.
So there's Ben's endorsement of DeSantis.
All right.
And of course, that is in stark contrast to his colleague, Candace Owens, who is on not only endorsing Vivek Ramaswamy, but on the campaign trail with him. And they there was a representative from Iowa with them on the tour bus yesterday, and they released this little video.
On the bus with my friends, Steve King, Candace Owens. All right. We're excited for Scott County. We're in eastern Iowa. You got the snow out there, so things are running a little bit slower than usual, but things are going to be great. Actually, we're excited. Got a lot of people coming out waiting for us, and I think we're gonna have the media have a little bit of fun with this combination of people on the road.
I think it's good.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think we're gonna give them a little bit of a fun feel there. What do you think, Steve?
I think it's a fascinating conversation between you two. I don't know if I fit in our American society, but somehow I feel like I do.
Yeah, I think you do too. All right, guys, we're gonna keep the day going.
So there's Vivek.
Okay, I mean that's great. That's great.
So people on the right who are true conservatives are apparently allowed to have different picks in this primary.
Who would have thought?
I know. Based on some of the comments I get from our audience, I apparently am not allowed to do that, but I also have a pick. And right now, it is not Trump, for reasons that I've given many, many times. One of the things that we said yesterday when we talked about his town hall was that he was engaged in some serious gaslighting when it comes to trying to pin, like, being a fan of Fauci and Florida shutting down on DeSantis. So he's changing the script quite a bit. And so for Trump supporters out there, and I do not begrudge you your choice, like you go support Trump all you want. You have that right. I don't begrudge you at all. And I understand it because Trump did a lot of really fantastic things. But that doesn't mean that you can just forgive or look away from when he's gaslighting America, which he absolutely did in that town hall. And so there was a montage put together. I don't remember who even did this. Maybe it was Dave Rubin. I'm not sure. But when he tried to say that he never shut the country down, I hope that even his supporters recognize that as a big fat lie, because not only did he shut us down, he bragged about it lots of times after that.
Would you ever allow a shutdown in the future?
You're talking about a COVID shutdown?
Correct.
No, I wouldn't. And I never did.
We did the right thing. We closed the country down.
I could have kept it open. And I could have done what some countries are doing.
I had to shut it down. We did the right thing.
Florida did shut down. Ron DeSantis shut down.
We're in a place called Florida, and we have a great governor.
A great governor knows exactly what he's doing.
Terrific job. He just announced that the schools will be open.
The governor's done a great job. Florida is down low now in the China virus.
He shut his state down very violently.
And you're open and you didn't close and it's just amazing, right? It's great.
One of the greatest governors in our country, and I know a lot of good ones, and I can tell you there's some really bad ones too, but this is a great one, Governor Ron DeSantis.
I mean, can we just not? Can we just own? And that's the one trouble I've had with him, is that he just won't own any of his mistakes. Because if he said, man, I shut down, I really regret it. I regret listening to that little elf man who said that everything was going crazy and that we should shut down, everybody need to get vaccinated. But he won't. And I don't know why he won't. And so to me, it's huge gaslighting. And I sometimes you guys in the audience make me feel crazy for feeling the way that I do. And so then I go back out to some other sources and I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. There's a guy from the Blaze named Pat Gray who does a podcast or radio show, and he experienced the same level of just like, what is even happening moment during the Trump town hall, to the point where he screamed like a girl when Trump tried to pin this Fauci love on DeSantis, and it just cracked me up, the screaming. Oh my God.
Ron DeSantis was big Dr. Fauci fan, and nobody wants to cover that. I say it every time.
This
Oh my
can't
God.
stand. Okay. I don't mean to piss off Trump supporters.
Let's go for it. How
can you not call him out on that? It's impossible. It's impossible not to call him out on that.
Does he remember?
You are the one who kept him, promoted him, left him in there, followed his advice for a year.
Yeah.
You can't be serious that you're trying to pin Anthony Fauci on Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, so technically...
Come on, Trump supporters. I want to hear from you.
Anthony Fauci was the president of the United States.
That's how I felt.
I mean, I know. I get it. The COVID, listen, and I get it. The COVID stuff, I wish he would do that too. I get it.
It'd be so easy, and it would gain him so much credibility on that issue. It would with me. He owned it, because I don't blame him for what he did.
Well,
no
the Trump
one knew
people,
what the F was going on.
Well, the Trump people would love him no matter what. So it's not going to change the Trump people's minds at all. But the people who are sort of like on the fence, people like you, would be more enamored with him. So he would gain more people. It would actually be to his benefit if he would do something like that, honestly, because people who love him are going to love him no matter what. Like, they will go to the ends of the earth for him. But the people who are on the fence or just kind of like, well, that kind of sucks that he did that. Yeah, it would show a little bit of humanity. It would show that he has a little bit of, I can look inward and go, I can say sorry once in a while, or my God, it's like, you can do that. You can look at it and go, that guy was a total jerk. Anthony Fauci was wrong. I will listen to the experts for the first 6 to 12 months. And then, you know what? I decided not to do that anymore. People do that in leadership. They change course. It happens all the time.
I completely agree. Now, in his defense, he is getting so utterly screwed in this whole New York hearing. Like the whole thing about the valuation of Mar-a-Lago and his businesses and his properties. This is the most bullshit case that has ever been brought against anybody ever. And it makes me rage on his behalf. Like it makes me insane with rage that Letitia James attorney is trying to suggest that Mar-a-Lago is only worth $25 million. What insanity is even that? Like I cannot even believe it. So Alina Habba was on I don't even remember which show at this point, but she was on yesterday to talk about some of the tiebacks between Letitia James and the Biden's White House, and this is just so deeply unfair. I mean, on every level. I cannot believe how much worse it gets, and she can't believe it. And it's bad when she's right next to Trump side by side every day, and she's like, I continue to be surprised.
Back with us. Alina, great to have you. Let me see if I have this straight here. So you have the Attorney General in New York meeting with the Biden White House and White House counsel, I assume, or I don't know who. Do we know who? How many occasions have you identified she was in the Biden White House, and what was the time frame of that?
Sure. We saw that there was a meeting in August, the month or two right before they filed their complaint. And there was another meeting later in the midst of our litigation on the Attorney General's claim. So that is twice confirmed. I believe there are also reports that she had been at Miss Kamala Harris's home. This is not normal. She is a New York Attorney General voted by the New York constituents. And the only thing they all have in common is the Soros backing. I cannot understand why she would have cause in the middle of a trial to go see the White House and the Biden administration, let alone the top. One of the records said that they met on the front lawn. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I really can't. And I am with you, Sean, reporting with you every day. I am in the weeds, and I still am shocked. They cease to amaze me. This is unbelievable. I thought Georgia was bad, and then today I have to sit in court and get notice that this person has now weaponized her, which we already knew, but now that she's coordinating as well with the Biden administration. What was she there for? Coffee? We don't believe it anymore.
Yeah. And somebody said it, the word, it's collusion. That's what this
It
is.
absolutely, positively is.
Without a doubt, it's what this is. Yeah.
Biden,
and then Biden will play dumb and be like, oh, I have nothing to do with this. I don't know what's going on. Bullshit.
It is such bullshit that even Ellie Honig, I think that's his name, from CNN, even he knows what's up because he reminds us about what she freaking campaigned on. Look at this.
What they were doing, they got paid back. But it is a fact that Letitia James, as Paula Reed said, Letitia James campaigned for Attorney General in 2018 specifically on a promise of vote for me and I'll get Donald Trump. That's not something she said once. She said it dozens of times. She said it in writing. She fundraised off it. And she wasn't even specific. She didn't say, I'll get him for inflating his assets. At one point, she said he could be indicted for money laundering. At one point, she said, the day after she was elected, she said, and I quote, we're definitely going to sue his ass. He'll know my name. And when you make statements like that, how can you say there's no political angle to this? You can maybe say the facts are there, but it's also political. That's Letitia James's own doing.
So what if... And that's CNN.
Yeah, that's CNN
that's
saying
CNN,
that.
You guys. Yeah. I mean, it's blatantly obvious what's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trump goes in there and he's like, listen, I would really like to spend some time with Melania because her mother just died. And the judge, who is unbelievable.
Oh my God.
So
creepy.
biased, so disgusting. I mean, you look, he's so creepy. It just is gross. That guy freaks me out. He's like, no, you can't do that. Denied. It's just, I mean, they hate him. They hate him personally. She's going after him personally. They have colluded to go after him personally. It's unheard of. I mean, it's just, it's a political witch hunt. That's exactly what this is. Everybody knows it.
So this last clip in this group is of Taylor Sheridan, who is the creator of Yellowstone and all of its offshoots.
I love all of them.
You are an avid watcher of them. Huge. He was on with Joe Rogan, and they had a huge, obviously a 3-hour conversation about all kinds of topics. But one of those topics was the politicization, the weaponry of politics when it comes to stuff like this, and how it can impact the primaries. And here is that little clip.
And decisions made now, we sit here and break rules that are clearly established in the Constitution, which has existed for a couple hundred years and held this place together. When we start manipulating that document to maintain relevance for a very short-term goal for a politician or for one specific cause, whatever that cause is, when we start manipulating that and abandoning the rule of law, when we start doing that 30 years from now, that benchmark is what's going to be used against all the people that pushed it right now.
That's what scares me right now about all this talk about primaries, about limiting people from primaries. So they were saying that many states have chosen to only have Joe Biden to vote for in the primaries. But that sounds like such a bad idea.
This is my point. People can think of Donald Trump however they want to think of Donald Trump. It doesn't really matter who the individual is. A court in Colorado is going to essentially make a decision based upon a trial that has not happened yet. In other words, they're basically saying he's guilty of something that he hasn't been tried for, and therefore they're removing him from a ballot.
It's so effed up.
Yeah, it's completely effed up. It's completely un-American. It's unconstitutional. So he's right. He's absolutely right in that. Yeah, we are on such a downward spiral right now. It completely freaks me out for my kids.
Same.
For my kids, it worries me because we're just letting it happen, you know, and people will say that they're doing this under the guise of saving democracy, when in fact they're destroying our constitutional republic. That's what they're doing. And they just have no idea what they're doing. I think they think that they want power so badly, they're going to do everything they can to get it. And in the process, they're going to destroy it. They're already destroying us.
I mean, we see it in almost every aspect of the world right now. Every aspect.
Right.
Yeah. So it is kind of funny, to the point that was made earlier about how, you know, people are always like, well, if Trump is in office, there's just going to be complete chaos. As opposed to what?
Yeah. We're already there.
Happening now?
We're already in complete chaos.
Yeah, it's insane. And on top of that, of course, we have this whole illegal immigration problem. And there was some clown, Mr. Chen, who was testifying in front of a House committee yesterday. There was, I can't remember, the Representative Tiffany is who is questioning him. This clown is actually saying it's in our best interest, all of our best interest, to pay as taxpayers for lawyers for every single illegal immigrant. This is the exchange.
Should everyone get an attorney? That's what I heard in your testimony. Anyone that comes to our border, they should get an attorney. Is that right?
So legal representation has been shown to greatly improve both the fairness of the system and the efficiency. If you have a lawyer,
so the American taxpayers should pay for the lawyers also. Not only should they pay for the hospitals, not only should they pay for the schools, not only should they pay the SNAP benefits, they should also pay for the lawyers to allow them as people from outside the United States to be able to come into America.
It's
incredible.
incredible.
And since when is our system freaking fair, dude? When do taxpayers get a break from all this bull crap? Because we pay for everything. And we've been saying for years, like, eventually the takers are going to outweigh the makers. And it's happening right now. It's happening right. I was waiting. I was like, when is it going to happen? When we first started our site like 14, 15 years ago, I was like, we said that they're going to outweigh us. When is that going to it's happening right now. We're seeing it happen. Now, when you see illegals taking over our schools for a day and the government say, they're there, the illegals are going to take over, your kids need to stay home for the day, there will be no learning today. Homes are next, you guys. Homes are next.
Mayor Adams said it out loud. He's actually suggesting if you have a private residence with an extra room, and right now he's asking, but at some point he's going to be telling.
Right. They're going to be telling. And you know what? Liberals go first.
Exactly.
The people
who
who
want a
voted
sanctuary city?
Yeah.
This is on you.
You voted for this garbage. You go first. You guys look at the cards and see who they voted for. Put the illegals in their homes first, because they're not coming into my house. Yeah,
exactly. Donna Forrest and Jamie Hill, thank you so much for the super stickers. Appreciate that. I'm about to give you guys the biggest treat ever. So I was telling Daisy that I learned about this man who I was not familiar with. yesterday because there were some clips of his going around on socials yesterday. And I was like, who is that fine looking fella? So I am not a person who thinks Jason Momoa is attractive. He's way too Neanderthal-y for me. Personal preference. I'm not judging if you think he's hot. I know a lot of women think he's hot. He's just way too, I don't know, monstrous
beefy
for me.
You don't like the beefy thing. Yeah.
Super beefy. Like, and just kind of Neanderthal-y.
Right.
But this guy is like on the same plane of attractiveness. Like he's the same sort of appearance, also beefy. Former Air Force Academy graduate. He was active military, flew F-15s, and then was also in Space Force, but then saw what was happening to our conversation earlier, what was happening to the military being weakened by DEI, by CRT, by all of this nonsense, right? By all the woke nonsense. He wrote a book about it and then was kicked out of the military without a pension. He lost his position because of it, because of this book. And so now he's a public speaker, and he testified in front of a congressional committee yesterday about the wokeness of the military. And he was awesome to look at and to listen to. His name is Matt Lohmeier. I hope that we can get him on our show because I would try to keep it together for that. Very, very nice looking fella. Just is a phenomenal. So I've got 2 clips of him to share. You're going to love this guy.
I do want to make one additional point, if I may, that the general has just explained that he never saw critical race theory in his time at West Point or in his lengthy, honorable military career. In doing research for my book that got me fired, I found that West Point cadets who had recently graduated, these are impressive people, black, white, clearly leftist in their political worldview, had produced a 40-page policy proposal, is what it was called, that I consider a communist screed, anti-American, race-baiting, accusing leaders at West Point of failing the American people, criticizing West Point as an institution for racism, criticizing them for failing the Army, and that they would continue to fail the Army. What I found in that document is that this general's work is quoted throughout the entire 40 pages. So you can't say that you've never been exposed to critical race theory when a bunch of left-wing Marxist-leaning students attack the West Point Military Academy relying on your work. And so I'd be curious to find out if they consulted with him in the production of that 40-page policy proposal to topple statues at West Point, to rename buildings. When that kind of invitation came to me as a commander to rename streets and buildings, everyone at the base was allowed to populate the Excel spreadsheet that came to us as a tasker from the Pentagon. And I saw George Washington's name on that list because ideology that poisons the mind doesn't disambiguate between racists, evil men, and good men, and patriots. What they did is they said, he is a founder, he's white, I hate him, and we'd like to remove his name from buildings and streets. This is the kind of thing that ideology does to the military. It divides people. And the best evidence we've seen so far, 10 more seconds, is the recent testimony from university presidents who tried to excuse and contextualize genocidal rhetoric. And what CRT, diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates, and Marxist ideology do to a university president or to the Chinese PLA, they will do to an American service member.
God, that guy, he is fine. There's a lot of fineness, right? But this is the thing. Our American military kicked him out without a pension. That's the kind of person they're kicking. That man that you just saw speaking reason and truth. Mm-hmm. They kicked him out of the military, and then they have people like, I don't know, like Rachel Levine in it, propping that up. This is our military now. But
that's why you should not feel 100% confident about our military.
Right. But then get rid of that guy. We're getting rid of that guy who's a complete badass, but we can't have him in the military. Yeah. But then now that we're, having military conflict with the Houthis and basically Iran, do you feel confident? Because guys like that are getting kicked out because, oh my God, feel bad, you guys, feel bads, and diversity and equity and inclusion.
And a whole bunch of guys like that also got kicked out for not taking the vax.
Right.
So they're
gone.
so many really, really good members of the military over stupid crap. And so I love this next clip of him because he's speaking directly at the members of the committee and telling them they have no idea what the hell they're talking about, and they haven't served, and they just don't know. And it's so delicious, again, to watch and to hear.
One point that the general made with which I disagree is that diversity is our strength. I don't think there's any evidence for that, but definitions matter. Words matter, and we're losing touch with this. I would reject the notion that diversity is our strength based on DEI definitions of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Merit-based, okay, I'm going to get away from that because if we're trying to find a unity of understanding, let me say this. Skill and performance matter in the military if you'd like to deter conflict and win our nation's wars, period. As a commander in the military, I had a black colonel fly across the country to promote me to lieutenant colonel because I loved the hell out of the guy and respect his views on the Federalist Papers, which he was teaching me after work hours, and because he was the best leader I've ever worked with. The best airman that I had working for me, incidentally, was a transgender airman. So don't bullshit me and say that you think you know what you're talking about. You've never served. You don't understand how this works. We care about performance in the military, period. You don't know what you're talking about. Most of the people in this room don't know what they're talking about. We need lethality in the military, period. All of the stuff you guys talk about, the men and women in uniform don't think about. They go play Call of Duty at night after they learn their mission and execute that mission, period. They don't know what you're talking about. They don't know what you're voting on. They don't care about your sexual preference. They don't care what you look like, and they don't care what the person next to them looks like, period. I'm a citizen of this country, and I can dislike you and criticize you all I want here, but our men and women in uniform cannot. And so I speak on their behalf when I say lethality matters, merit-based selection and promotions matter, and your ideology doesn't matter one bit. And we need to identify principles which will preserve our union and preserve the unity of the United States military. If we do not, we'll lose that union.
Yeah, and we're not picking those principles. We're not picking the principles right now, and we are losing our union.
I need a cigarette.
I know. Are you okay?
And I don't
Mock's
smoke.
not okay. Mock's like, woo! Oh, damn! Yeah.
Producer Valen, please make a note of it. We need Matt Lohmeier on our deep dive. Matt Lohmeier.
Yeah, but I totally agree with him though. But the union is crumbling because we're not picking those policies. We're doing the opposite of what we should be doing, you guys. He's so right. Everybody needs to hear this guy, but we need to do the things. We need action. I do appreciate everything that he's doing, but man, we need to change course yesterday.
I know, for real. We absolutely do. Shannon Lawrence, thank you so much for the super sticker. And West Point daughter, thank you. She says, I work in publishing with schools, including USMA, can confirm the literature and courses have gone woke. My dad is rolling in his grave. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how anybody can deny it at this point, that our military is being completely dumbed down by CRT and DEI and all of the woke nonsense.
And it's just weak and pathetic at this point.
Anyway, I forgot at the beginning of the show that I wanted you to talk about watermelons. So can we do that before we get to the little clip I have before your double Ds?
Yeah. Yesterday I was looking at Daily Mail or whatever, and I saw an article about Jennifer Garner's daughter, Violet, I believe her name is. And she's always mashed. You can never see her face. She looks exactly like her mother, though. It's really weird. She's one of those. I'm assuming she's like some liberal kid that lives in LA, but she was spotted wearing a watermelon sweatshirt, a watermelon sweater. And so I was like, what is this melon thing? So she was called out for it. Apparently that is a symbol that supports Palestine, the Free Palestine movement. I did not know that. I started doing some research, and it is. So if you are looking at any sort of news story or whatever that has to do with the Israel-Palestine conflict, and you see a bunch of people commenting with a bunch of watermelons, the watermelon is a symbol for the Palestinian flag. It has the same colors,
same shape as Israel, looks like.
Right. I didn't know that. I read that Palestine, apparently they grow watermelons there. I didn't know that. anyways, it is a symbol and some sort of a a free Palestine like thing for people who are in that movement. So if you see that, that's what that means. I was yesterday years old when I learned that. I didn't
She
know
taught
it.
it to me. I didn't know that either. This is the first I've heard of it.
And so I figured we'd pass that along to you guys if you didn't know that. But the watermelon is a thing. Now she obviously is, free Palestine girl. Her mother may want to educate her, but apparently that family is too, like Casey Affleck, who is her uncle, is Ben Affleck's brother.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I have seen him walking around with free Palestine stuff on and stuff like that too. So,
some
I mean,
morons.
just a bunch of uneducated weirdos in Hollywood. But it doesn't surprise me because she probably goes to some hoity-toity LA school where this is what they're taught.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So watch for the watermelons, and
Watch
now
for the
you'll know what they
watermelons.
mean.
Now you know.
Michelle Boyd, Michelle Boyd, thank you. She says we need to go have him come to the meet and greet. Smile if you agree. A good-looking badass man.
That would be great.
That would
huh?
be quite a guest,
Yeah.
right?
He could just
Am
give
I
out
right?
free. He give out free hugs all night.
Oh my gosh, I just love
Yeah.
him. All right, before we get to double D's, I did have one thing I wanted to share because it reminded me of how much I don't like vegetables. I do like some of them, but when a baby is first the first food that you feed a baby is like what? Sweet potatoes?
I gave Gwenny sweet potatoes. Yeah,
I think that's the first.
Yeah, sweet potatoes. And I'm trying to think if there's squash. Yeah, that kind of stuff. And
It's
then
sweet stuff, right? Like
Yeah,
it's sweet
all
stuff,
the
and then
sweet
you
stuff.
slowly introduce
the green
stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, Brian. Brian's like, thanks for ruining watermelon for me. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
This is a baby being introduced to an actual leafy vegetable for the first time, and he is so me.
Maverick.
His name is Maverick. He's like, I'm not a rabbit, Mom. Give me a steak. Look at his face.
I just love that so much.
No. I know. I totally agree with him. I'd much rather have a steak.
Oh my God.
Give me a steak any day. Okay. So yesterday, we had you did the whole baseball thing, which is such a great little montage of all the sweet, gentlemanly boys that were giving their baseball to all the sweet little girls. And then I don't know why, but this came up for me yesterday. And so I thought, you know what? Since we said we both didn't really like baseball, I felt kind of bad. So my double D today is a little baseball clip. It's a father and son. It's a son's first home run. And I thought it was really sweet. Good dad.
Look at him running.
I mean, he's the dad.
Let's go! Let's go!
Is that not the greatest?
What? Oh! Oh! Oh!
Dads and their boys.
So precious.
It's just
Oh
so
my God.
cute. I love that so much.
So,
I mean, nobody
so
else is
precious.
around, but he's like, I'm going to be the whole crowd right now in one person. Anyways, I thought that was cute.
So cute.
Yep.
Okay, that means it's time for some My Pillow Talks, and they've still got the big betting sale going on at mypillow.com/chicks. Don't forget that really awesome beach towel that turns into a tote thing. This is the universal symbol for that. It's less than $20, you guys. And you'll see it. Just scroll down when you go to mypillow.com/chicks. You'll see it. It's the coolest thing ever. And then don't forget to use code chicks at checkout to make sure that you're getting the best discounts at mypillow.com/chicks. Speaking of things that taste bad, I died laughing at this montage of people giving lemons to babies.
Oh my gosh.
Is my I was crying, absolutely crying when I watched this. You guys are going to love it.
Oh God.
Oh my God!
shivers. When they get the shivers, it's my favorite.
Look at her face. She's gonna shake that bow right off her head. That is fantastic. Oh my god. Why didn't we do this to our kids? Why didn't we?
God.
Oh my god. It's just the greatest thing ever. You know, there's some Karen in the comments who's like, this is evil and cruel to children. I'm reporting you. I'm reporting. There's always one. I always go to the comments. There's always one killjoy in the comments. I swear.
Oh my God. I
terrible.
just love that so much. Loved it. Happily, there are comedians out there who don't care about wokeness, do not care about being the attempts at being canceled. They're going to say the jokes, and God bless them when they do it. Here is an example.
Are you sick, ma'am? Are you wearing that for safety or just to let everybody know who you're voting for? I think she's laughing. I can't tell. Thank you for coming despite your everything about you.
Oh god, I love it. I saw that yesterday. I was dying. He's so funny.
Oh my God. Ben Bankus is his name. So if you're looking for a good comedy show and he's coming to see your town, make sure to go see him. There is a bird that I've never heard of that is legitimately, it's a dinosaur. It's from the dinosaur era. I did not know that these existed or that they made these sounds or that they responded to humans bowing to them. But these are all true facts about this amazing creature. Shoebill stork.
God, that thing it freaks me out. That thing is like a prehistoric bird.
Right?
It shouldn't be here, you guys. That thing should not be walking around.
I mean, that is a freaking badass
It
bird.
looks like something from the Flintstones. It's bizarre.
I love it though. I love it. I'm going to mute it because I don't know if this is copyright music. I mean, that's amazing.
It is pretty amazing, but that face.
I mean, it's a little scary.
Terrifying.
It's a little
Not
terrifying.
gonna lie. Look, the emus and the ostriches when we go to those wildlife parks always make me a little crazy. I'm like, go, honey, drive the car faster. Drive it faster. I don't want those things chasing us. And that is sort of a prehistoric version of like an ostrich or an emu or what. I mean, that is crazy looking. I've never.
But it seems kind. Like I know it's got a mean looking face, but there's something about the bowing and the shaking that seems kind to me. I don't know.
Okay.
I liked it.
It's gonna haunt me in my dreams.
Emus and ostriches are like this all the time. You know what I mean?
Melissa
and this bird isn't.
Melissa, you have emus? Oh my gosh.
See, they're scary to me.
They scare the crap out of me. Wow,
Yeah,
Melissa.
they're a little scary. That's amazing. The cat distribution has worked its magic once more, and this woman is so excited. Apparently, she has been waiting to be picked by the cat distribution system, and she has.
No. Is it finally my turn? The cat distribution system.
This will be me.
Come here, baby.
Oh my god.
What are you doing out here?
Oh, what a sweetheart. I want one.
Okay. Oh my god.
Oh,
where did you come from?
Skinny and full of worms, she said.
Yeah, but she kept him. There's all kinds of updates, and like she's totally kept him, and he's great.
Good. And he's all healthy now. God bless her. Sweet baby.
The reason that I love this clip is because I love it when people prank each other or scare each other, and it's my favorite thing.
You
But
do love
this
that.
reminded me of you because this woman was clearly in the throes of a reorg of her pantry, and it reminded me of you because you're such a reorganizer, like you're
I
so
am.
organized girl. So
Yeah.
she's got like shit everywhere, right? And her husband scares the bejesus out of her, and it just cracks me up.
That's me.
What are you doing?
Oh my God, that's so great. That's exactly what I would do too if Greg just totally snuck up on me while I was reorganizing. That's when you're in your
Oh my
zone, you
God.
guys.
It just absolutely cracked me up. Also, here is a darling elephant.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it the cutest?
I need him.
I know,
He's got a
they're so
sweater on.
cute.
His little sweater.
Look at his little tail and his just little self. I just
he's
love him.
So cute.
Anyway, those are your talks for
Those
today.
are really good talks. Good Friday talks, you guys. Everybody doing
Oh
stuff
my
fun this
gosh.
weekend? Everybody like staying in because it's going to be freezing cold all over the country? Are we doing fun things? I hope
This
we're
is
doing
a good
fun
time
things.
to stay in.
Yeah, everybody's going to.
I got to make sure I thanked everybody. Did I get everybody? Yes, I think I did.
I'm
Yay.
driving to Oklahoma right now after the show. So everybody pray that the weather stays pretty decent. But
And you're driving like into snow?
I'm driving into snow this weekend.
Yeah.
Coda just looked at me like, what was that noise?
Make it again. Make it again. Wait, let me embiggen so we can get some
get up.
flapularity.
Get up. Get up so people can see your face. I don't think
There
that-
he
I don't
is.
think your sissy's coming. Mwah! Don't break. Can you flap? No, he's just going to snort and
Just
try to
gonna-
eat me. This is what he does.
Did he
this
slime
stinky
you or
breath.
not?
No, and he always slimes me. Where's your sissy? Come here, Astrid. Come here. I don't think she's gonna come.
We haven't had a flap.
I know
from
you need
Astrid in
a
long
Friday flap.
time.
Come on, let's hurry because people are waiting for you. Her brother's attacking her. I don't know if he's gonna let her in the room. And
Where's Moosh Bear?
Theo is adjusting really well. He's doing great. He still has a little bit of separation anxiety, but he's doing great. Somebody's saying I will not have time to go to the casino because I will be at a swim meet all weekend long. But I love Oklahoma, you guys. I always volunteer to go to this meet. It's a once a year thing because I absolutely love Oklahoma. It's just that I'm not looking forward to the snow. So
Yeah.
anyways, I don't think there's going to be flaps today, you guys. I'm sorry.
All
But you got to
right.
see his big noggin.
Oh yeah. We
Nice.
got to see the
We'll hope for
all
some
the
more.
schmoosh.
When my husband is here next week, I'll try to get some more flaps and I'll try to see if we
Okay.
can make up for that. The lack of flapularity this week. So let's bring it in.
Bringing it in.
Yes. And you guys have a fantastic weekend. We will talk to you on Monday. Bye. Bye, everybody.